This is the Clemtex Spinblast tool. This tool is designed to blast the idea pipe from 9 inches up to 36 inches. This tool consists of a rotating blast head with 2 blast nozzles. The nozzles can be 1/4 inch, 5/16, or 3/8. The head is connected to a tube. The tube runs through the length of the pipe. The tube is connected by 2 bearings, which the tube rotates in. Behind the back bearing is a seal to keep grit out. We have a leather dust seal behind that seal and a tungsten carbide washer. The tungsten carbide washer and the tube are sealed with the leather packing. The tube rotates, making a groove in the leather dust seal, and the leather dust seal is stationary and it seats against the tungsten carbide washer. This is what keeps dust and grit from getting into the seal and into the bearing. This tungsten carbide washer is held in place by a rubber lined nipple. The nipple screws into the pipe and presses against the tungsten carbide seat, which creates a seal against the tube. The rubber lined nipple is adjusted with a locking nut and is preset from the factory. There is a brake housing in this tool. It's a centrifugal brake. As the tool rotates, the brake rubs on the inside head of the tool, slowing down the velocity of the rotating head. As the tool is used, a groove is formed in the leather dust seal. The leather dust seal should last about 20 to 40 hours of blasting, depending on the velocity and rotation of the head. Once this gasket has been compromised, dust can get into the back seal, eventually getting into the bearing, which causes the unit to lock up. Holes are drilled in the back seating plate at 4 different angles at 90 degrees to one another. If air or dust protrudes out of these holes, that means the rubber dust seal is not tight enough and we're getting air leak in between the rubber lined nipple and the tungsten carbide washer. These are there to help prevent the tool from having grit and dust blown in past the seal and the bearing. The tool is preset from the factory. The rubber lined nipple is adjusted to press against the tungsten carbide washer, which presses against the leather dust seal, which makes the seal against the tube on the inside of the tool that actually spins. As the tool spins and rotates, centrifugal force will force the brake shoe against the head of the steel, slowing it down. The unit should rotate freely. This is the internals of the Spinblast tool. The blast hose is hooked to the coupling. The abrasive goes to the rubber lined nipple with the locking nut. The rubber lined nipple seats against the tungsten carbide washer, which is stationary. Tungsten carbide washer seats against the leather dust seal. The rough side of the dust seal goes against the tungsten carbide washer. The smooth side goes against the tube, because the tube is the area that turns. This is what makes the seal up. It's very important that after each pipe is blasted, that the unit is checked and tightened. The tube is actually tightened to make sure you form a seal. A properly sealed leather gasket will have a groove in it. The groove is actually formed by the turning of the tube against the leather dust seal. This is what makes the seat. So the smooth side against the tube that turns, and that is where your seat is. As you can see, the leather dust seal is approximately 1/8 of an inch thick, so you have plenty of wear there to get about 30 to 40 hours of life out of the tool. This is the most important part of the tool. The unit goes back together, leather dust seal, tungsten carbide washer, rubber lined nipple pushing us to make the seal in the tool so that it can be used for many hours of work. Here's an example of a brand new tool that a customer did not tighten up, or actually loosened up the rubber lined nipple before they hooked it up. It was preset at the factory. Somehow they loosened up the rubber lined nipple. The abrasive comes through the coupling, through the rubber line nipple, and is supposed to seat against the tungsten carbide washer. But as you can see, there wasn't a very good seat. The carbide washer is brand new, but you can see how it wore out the leather dust seal and completely blasted away. This is due to the fact that there was not a seat in between the tungsten carbide washer and the dust seal. There needs to be a seat all the way through there. You take your leather dust seal with the groove already in it that goes to the smooth side, goes to the tool, tungsten carbide washer, and your dust seal. It must be tightened and kept tightened after each joint of pipe to assure the seal is properly there. Always check the holes in the back of the tube to make sure if any air or grit is leaking out. This is a brand new tool. There's paint, so no air or grit was leaking out. The tube that came back from the customers, you can see where the paint has been blasted. Take very long for the rubber line, for the packing to blast through if you don't have a proper seat. To remove the blast spinning head from the tool, take an Allen wrench, remove the Allen set nut all the way from the tool.
Fade in and out of it.
Stick your Allen tool in and then unscrew the tube. That's how the head is replaced. The tool is adjusted in the shop. All tools are adjusted. Tool nut is backed off. Tool is tightened until we have a good firm seat on the seal. Back off a quarter of a turn.